Hi, and welcome to this session on what is true digital agility. My name is Ian Fisher, and I'm one of the directors in the UK for ISG. I work in the digital solutions and strategy practice. What is digital agility? Well, I'm here today to talk to you about exactly that, but more importantly, what roles do you need or needed to have in the organisation to be successful in the enterprise? I say needed because the second thing is obviously the elephant in the room, which is COVID-19 or coronavirus, and it has had an impact. And three, how do changes in that digital agile model have to adapt now, in some cases to help you survive, adapt, improve, or get ready for growth? And we're going to talk about all three things today. Business leaders are clear in what they try to impart to businesses. They know two things. One, customers are your greatest source of learning because customers they only have to click one more click to get to your competitor. So if your customer tells you something is wrong, it's important to listen to it. And many businesses have spent years adapting their customer management software, their CRM systems to listen and actually mine for data there. That's great. That's a good start. However, that's just about the data. The people that you need to design these new agile ways of working and make sure that digital agility is across the end-to-end enterprise means that you have to have smart people. So people like Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook, her job is to make these great people do better, to have their strengths come to the fore, and it's not to sit there and manage. So her job is to manage the business and provide them with the opportunities to be successful, just like the other quotes on the screen there. These people, they foster innovation, they foster growth, they trust their employees, and they trust that they will fail. They trust that they will learn and they will improve. However, having that ability to fail fast and learn and progress is the ability to grow and innovate. And this is what digital agility is about. So digital agility, or Digility as I call it, is what you see on the screen here. It's a bit of a tube map because it looks a bit like the London tube map, and it has really four key interweaving elements to it, which I'll talk you through in a second. Everything on here takes you from the customer journey right through to the internal enterprise and the operating model. It takes you from the data of the customer, and it brings in the sourcing and the technology aspect. So let's explore this a little bit more before we look at the type of roles we need. So first we have technical insights and emerging insights. These are people that we need in the organization to understand the customer channels, so social media managers, people who can actually go and start to put customer opinions online, to start to mine for data, understand what the customers are saying, look what your business, the brand is perceived online, and actually start to manage that. Also how customers interact with the organization, to start to join these patterns together and work out what the innovative way of addressing customer demand is. At the bottom there, which is required for the business model innovation circle, you see you have emerging technology insights. This is really two sets of people. One, it's your technology partner, which we'll cover in a minute, but two, it's a set of people like design thinkers and technology experts who have experience in machine learning, augmented reality, RPA, etc., who know what these things can do and can design them into your products, services, and projects that enable you to deliver faster and what the customer wants in a more cost-efficient way, but in a better customer experience. So this side is really all about designing the customer experience. Second, to design that customer experience, you need to know what you know and what you don't know. That requires data. So this is all about data-driven design. Listening to the voice of the business, which is the current level of operations, the single view, and also the real-time data that's coming from the CRM system, coming from the purchasing system, coming from stock control system, etc., etc. All these different systems and real-time data tell you what's working, what's not working, and the feedback coming from the left-hand side as to how to change it. That allows you in your business model, your future business model, to design an operating model, and you go through the business change line, and that means you have a more agile organization. To deliver it, you need something called product-aligned delivery. You need to go from silos to cross ways of working and actually design teams who build these products right through the life cycle. And when new ones spool up, you spool up new teams of IT developers and such like to get ready. That includes right from the front end your design thinkers, your customer experience people, right through to IT developers. That has to be a single daisy chain that allows you to complete it, and they're called product aligned delivery teams, pods. Third, we have technology supported design. This is your technology partner in a nutshell. You all have many suppliers, you have partners, you have ecosystems. These people should all be working in harmony, and they should be innovating on a daily basis to provide you with better, more cost effective, more digital ways of doing things, rather than them supplying you with a behemoth of a system that costs hundreds of millions to support per year in some cases, or it costs you millions to make a small change. They should be coming to you to have more cloud-based solutions, SaaS-based solutions, and you need sourcing experts, if they're not willing to do that, to help you make that change. So one of the things ISG does is we obviously look at contracts, we make renegotiations possible, and we start to help companies like yourselves retool and resupply with new technologies at a better, most cost-effective price. And this is what the model says. Because you're constantly innovating, but businesses that failed during COVID typically had an on-premise solution or a very office-based type solution. Many of the organizations, when the COVID virus hit, could not work from home. They didn't have the infrastructure, they didn't have the technology, they didn't even have the laptops in some cases. Our managing director was just speaking with one of the SIs, and they are going to move 75% of their entire workforce, which is over 100,000 people, into a remote digitally working environment going forward. They have rapidly accelerated their digital working, their remote working solution off the back of this, because they struggled in some cases. And another client I'm working with, they had 350 employees out of an office working remotely. The challenge then comes as to, well, if your technology partner works successfully, why have you been paying for a building for all this time? There's lots of questions that come out of this. So your technology suppliers, your sourcing decisions have to marry up to your business decisions, and therefore your business model and your digital agility has to come from all these questions, all three sides so far, to make what is your operating model. How are you going to work? And then finally, you have your enterprise agility. How agile are you internally? How agile are you as a business to continually improve, but to adapt the organization? If you work in silos and not pods, it takes time to adapt. The time to change is too long, whereas agile organizations can deliver releases in months, they can deliver MVPs in weeks and months rather than months and years. So it's another thing to think about. So what roles do we typically need? So left to right, as we've said, we need tech insight people. So people who understand and have used the technology. People who've worked in startups, let's say. They have gone up the acceleration curve and they have deployed new technologies like machine learning, augmented reality, virtual reality, etc., to the benefit of the customer, and they have learned and failed and learned again. So they have they have the insight that your organization should be able to take control of. Second, you've then got design thinkers. Gone are the days where you design something and then go out to market test it. You listen to the customer first, and that's where design thinking comes in. The rigid process they go through, where they actually take time to understand the customer, but using data from the data scientists that are on the top box there, they understand, and they truly understand what the change has to look like and feel like for the customer to want it. And if they get sticky change, the customer will come. Going on to the top box, I've already mentioned data scientists. The data mining capability and the crunching, the algorithms that have to be deployed to crunch terabytes and terabytes of data that will be produced by all these different sources. The mining for patterns of customer data and internal operations that tells you what's working, what's not working, will be worth its own weight in gold. OPEX experts, so people who are operational excellence experts and can find rapid change and cost takeout, will also be worth their weight in gold, because right now, with the struggle of the economy as it is, these organizations will need money to be able to adapt, and this is the kind of people that take it. Automation, we've talked about. Get yourself involved with people who know how about automation. Why? Because if you have office space, or you have building space, or you have processes that have operations that rely on people that could be automated and you haven't, you're missing out, and therefore you're losing revenue, and obviously that's a big issue. Cloud, if you haven't got your operations as far as you can on the cloud, Office 365, all your other applications all the time, collaborative, so you can co-work and co-create, then again, you're missing out. All the applications and the business process that you need should be put on the cloud, usually hybrid, but as much as you can on the cloud, to make sure that business operates as normal. Should anything like this happen again, and this is a serious test of the world and business, should anything like this happen again, the ones who are most cloud based, like the bank I'm working with right now, it's 1,500 miles away, we are working 100% remotely. There's been no change in operation. I spoke to the CIO today, and he has I think about 20 people working in a building. The rest, the other 1,000 people across 3 countries, are working all remotely, and they're still launching major sourcing projects. Finally, as I just mentioned, having sourcing experts who can renegotiate and understand what you need and buy it at the most competitive price, that will be a big value as well. Digital agility and agile experts, these people should be spattered across the organization, because they will be the coaches who make sure that agile sticks and the sense of worth is maintained. So really what we're saying is the must-do activities for the immediate future right now are to design from the outside in. So get people who understand design thinking, who understand the customer experience and can design what you need, because from a digital agile point of view, if you don't really know what it is you're understand that your customer wants or needs, they're just one click away from doing something else. You need to redesign the entire customer journey. 2, you need to educate your people as to why they're changing. That's where the agile coaching and the experts come in. So hiring people who believe in what you believe is going to be the thing going forward. If they don't believe in it, then there's no point. It's not about the job, it's about the hearts and minds. Putting data at the heart of it is crucial. So obviously you need to know what you don't know, and by mining all the data sets, you will be much clearer on what there are, and there are hundreds of tools out there to do that. Reviewing and optimizing your entire digital assets end to end across the value chain is really important. If you can optimize that, we've seen increases on traffic and increases in purchases and revenue through about 113% through digital agility. It's a significant game changer in the digital world. Now, when I talk about digital agility, the last one was innovate and iterate. We've been talking about it for years, and then the swinging ball came through the boardroom wall, as we were saying, it's not going to happen for ages, or we are doing digital transformation, but we're doing it incrementally. That wrecking ball has changed business basically forever, and you're going to have to change rapidly. So there's really 4 steps we have to do, and this is how quickly it's changed. The slides there from the 20s to the 80s to 2 months ago, we were all working in the same way across desks, albeit the technology changed, but we all went to an office and we all collaborated together in an office. 6 weeks ago, we were sitting in boardroom tables, co-creating on whiteboards. Last Friday, call across 2 different countries, etc. You've got people, you see these all online. This is digital collaboration at its best. So things have changed. So we no longer have people working in buildings. They are all over the place. The 9 to 5 is gone. You can read what's on the slide here. The people you hire are now looking for basically just get it done. I'm not saying it's they're doing it for any cost, because you have to be obviously security conscious, but the old reason of, it'll take 6 months to deliver an access point or whatever. Well, now you've done it in 6 days. Why couldn't we do it before? Because you had to now. So therefore the argument has gone, and therefore the just get it done means that you just have to do it. You're doing it from anywhere. So the remote working, the collaboration has to be done, and mobile is everywhere. If we didn't have mobile now, then no business, and those who don't really have a revenue stream. This graphic online really shows you the 12-month plan. So there's 4 elements to this. There's fighting the COVID fires. Some of you have done this already, some of you are doing it, and some of you need to start. There is essentially addressing or assessing the impact. There's adapting the operation and planning for growth. And very quickly through the 4 sets is fighting the COVID fires, is where your OPEX people come in. This is the cost optimization piece, taking cost out of the business across network licenses, software licenses, invoice management, waste analysis of what's going on. Addressing the impact phase 2 of actually working out what processes failed, why they failed, and what we can do to address it. That's your digital assessments. 3, adapting the organization is then, as you see, we're moving across the diagram now. That is about getting into your digital operating model, redesigning the operating model of the future, and making sure that that is going to work for any adversity that comes our way. And finally, plan for growth. This is where you start to deploy your innovative technology, because it will take months to develop, it will take months to build, and therefore you have fought the fires, you've survived, you've grown a little bit to make sure that you've got the cash to look at your digital assets. You've designed your operating model, and then through that operating model, you've now launched your new innovative revenue streams and products. And that is what you have through these employees that you hire. So what are these employees? As you'll see on the screen here, we've mentioned them already. These are the people you need to engage now. And the research that ISG is doing is seeing a lot of these specific topics being asked for. These are going to become hot skills, specifically in digital operating model, because you have to change the way you've done business for years pretty much now. I don't think many people are going to go back to that way of working. Cost out experts, you're going to need them immediately. People who can assess your business, your IT organization and your customer organization quickly to assess where the opportunities are. And then really sourcing to get the better deal in contracts. Automation, people who can automate what's not worked and get that working so that that actually can provide value. Cloud, making sure it's available anytime. And then we get into the design thinkers, augmented reality and agile, the more futuristic, adaptable technologies that allow you to really go to town and develop a customer experience that will last and customers will talk about. All of which, not forgetting cybersecurity, because with COVID, one of the things that has happened is there's been a tranche of people who are trying to commit fraud online. Just in the last 3 weeks, I've had 5 fake text messages from different banks I don't even bank with, who are trying to get me to put in my details. So they are taking advantage of COVID and the issues that we've had here. So if you're able to adapt, if you're able to plan for growth, and then you can build in the security digitally, these are the people that we think you need to be looking at now. Thank you very much.